Let's bring in Strategic Analysis Australia Director, Peter Jennings. Peter, thanks so much for your time. Now, what's your assessment on whether Israel and America are poised to strike Iran? Do you think this move to remove American officials is grandstanding to get a deal done with Iran? Or do you think it's set to happen with Israel now giving American staff time to get out of the region?
I don't think it's grandstanding. I think we are getting pretty close to a time when a strike is going to happen, and withdrawing non-essential embassy staff is pretty much the last thing that the Americans need to do. Trump's style here is, to give him credit, he attempted to have a negotiation with the Iranians. There were 5 rounds of negotiations, but I think Trump will realise that that was getting nowhere and will very quickly move back to what Israel has wanted to do pretty much since December. And that strike, while they still can, before Iran does get nuclear weapons and before they're able to rebuild a significant part of their air defence capabilities, which were destroyed in a previous Israeli strike. So I think we are now getting pretty close to a strike. The final piece being that America has to decide that they want to support Israel for that purpose. And I think by looking at the withdrawal of staff, we're now seeing that that's the decision that the US has come to.
Does Israel have the capability militarily to launch this strike on its own, or would it need US weaponry as well?
It can launch a strike on its own in the sense of being able to go after the target set that it wants to hit. It needs the Americans to help them identify the targets, to then do space-based battle damage assessment to work out where they have to go back to hit a second time. They probably need a bunker-busting weapons from the Americans, and they certainly need American air defence capability in the form of a carrier strike group or 2 in the Mediterranean to help shoot down drones and missiles coming from Iran, because Iron Dome and the other Israeli air defence systems won't be able to do all of that themselves. So they can do a lot in terms of undertaking waves of strikes against targets, but they do need the Americans to assist them in a whole bunch of factors that makes that Israeli sharp end of the spear possible.
I mean, it's without question that Israel would need America's backing, cooperation, agreement to launch this, and it's obviously been the subject of numerous rounds of discussions between Netanyahu and Trump, probably over many years. But it's the level of US involvement that we don't know, we're yet to see. I mean, obviously it wouldn't go ahead without US agreement, but, I think that's what's going to be fascinating to watch. When you say you expect it to go ahead in the near future, are you prepared to put any time frame on that? Are you hearing anything definitive at all?
Well, if I'm hearing anything, then that would not be good. It won't take long, because you don't want to give the Iranians any more time than they've already got to get themselves ready for this. This has been delayed for some months, probably since the beginning of the year. I think that was because Trump was wanting to see if he couldn't find a diplomatic solution, and he should get some credit for trying that. But once the US and Israel have decided that this is what they need to do, they have to move fast. So I would expect it pretty soon.
I think his change of attitude, Trump's, has been surprising, because when he first got into office, he kind of said he will give Israel full backing to do whatever it wants in Gaza after Hamas refused to release the hostages. And now he seemed to change tune and become this pacifist who wants to avoid death and destruction. I mean, the inconsistency in his approach has been unusual, but nevertheless, Peter Jennings, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.